I had heard very good things about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I was excited to watch it, but I seem to be in the minority in finding it rather disappointing. Written and directed by Demian Ruga. When a case of demonic possession threatens to spread throughout the area, Pedro attempts to get his family to safety, but being an idiot, he only succeeds in exposing them to the evil.
Los tiempos de la fe se terminan rápido.
I'm a little disappointed. I want to hear what you guys have to say first.
Oh, this movie. See, I enjoyed the movie. I did not enjoy how stupid the main character was at all.
Yeah.
I was very interested in the idea around demonic possession spreading like a kind of like a zombie virus or something. I thought that was cool. And I don't know if I'd ever seen that take before in like a possession type of movie. So that was cool. Yeah, I don't know if this was good or not. I really liked the beginning first half of the movie, I think. And the further into it, the dumber the decisions got from Pedro, I think that was his name. And it just really,
yeah,
I didn't know where to leave with this.
The dumbness
based
really
on the ending
escalates.
It's a trope,
It
though.
was insane.
People make the dumbest decisions in horror movies. It's like the commercial, like, let's go hide behind all the chainsaws. Yeah. Demian Rugna did an interview where apparently this was basically based off of pesticides poisoning local people in Argentina, and that turned into like the evil, just awesome. Spreads. Yeah. That kind of explained it to me enough. There's rules to it. You don't really learn that, but the evil spreads through animals, spreads through electricity, spreads through its own goo. And you can say that, yeah, this guy is an idiot and he's making dumb decisions, but it's also the evil that is afflicting him that is maybe coercing him. I think it's a clever way to explain away the annoyance of, why would you do something that stupid? Well, you're somewhat afflicted by the evil that is traveling around. So I didn't necessarily have that big of a problem. I thought it was an interesting take to try and make it not so stupid. I liked this movie. I thought it was engaging. There's definitely some stupid decisions made, and there's lots of questions, and they don't really exposition you to death. You don't really know a whole lot about the evil. But I liked it. I thought it was good. I thought it was engaging. So that was my take on why I would not nitpick this.
That it is a trope, people being stupid in movies, horror movies. But I think this movie, at least to me, eliminated those tropes when they established the fact that there are well-known rules in dealing with this well-known issue that could arise from time to time.
Yeah.
And then they
you need a cleaner to kill him.
Yeah, then they introduce an expert who is literally telling him, like, don't do this, don't do that.
Don't leave me.
Do this, go do that. So
But when you're afflicted by evil...
No, I get where you're coming from. Totally could be an excuse for it. I personally didn't see that as the case, but I could see how it could be. But yeah, I thought there was a lot of good stuff in this movie. I thought the first half was excellent. The first half was, like, really engaging. It was, like, nail-biting. I really like the fact that this movie establishes its own lore for demonic possession and departs from what I feel is a tired and stereotypical, Catholic-based possession.
The religious base, it doesn't have any religious base.
It treated this demonic possession like this unrelenting cancer that you just, like, it just follows you wherever you go. And if you slip up, you're fucked. It's the latter half of the movie that lost me. There's some really memorable sequences in the movie. Like you mentioned, the dog attacking the girl, the axing in the beginning of the film.
I'm nitpicking like Dusty here because of the way that she was flicking the thing to kill herself. What kind of wrist/forearm strength does this pregnant woman have? Because that was ridiculous. Like, she's just flicking that thing.
So there's some memorable moments, but I think the script is, like, pretty muddled. And like I was just saying, it introduced a lore and a set of rules for its demonic possessions that are, like, they're inadequately explained. Evil seems to be, like, commonplace in this world that is established in this movie. They all know the rules for dealing with bloated creatures that result from demonic possession. They know it's a possessed person right in the beginning when they meet the Incarnado.
But it's also an inept, corrupt government that takes its time in dealing with any of that shit.
Oh, that was really interesting. That
I did
whole
as well.
lore that was built there. Like churches are no longer around and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It was like post-apocalyptic in a different type of way, which is cool.
So, yeah, I mean, the people in this movie, they know about, they're familiar with this stuff, the rotten, as the subtitles call it. I don't know if that's a direct translation, but because in the film they call them the Incarnato, I think. There's even like that little song that the mother sings about the rotten that's in the film.
Yeah.
And it's like a children's lullaby. That's what makes like kind of so little sense to me when these characters do the exact opposite of what they know they should be doing already. And like, you know, what you said is like a perfectly fine explanation for that. I just don't think the movie really presented it in that way if that's what was happening, personally.
The evil lurking?
No.
The aura of evil lurking?
No, the fact that it would be influencing him so much to do dumb shit that he knows he shouldn't be doing.
I thought the rules were interesting because there were like a lot of rules that they didn't even say were rules. Like the cleaner saying like, oh, you moved the rotten and you knew it was rotten. Like, okay, well, we didn't know that was a rule. So this guy probably didn't know that was a rule either. Going in contact with someone else after being in contact with the rotten. They didn't necessarily say that was like a rule, right?
Once again, we find ourselves in a world where ambiguity can be used for good, but it could also be used for bad. And I think in this movie, as I said, these rules are inadequately explained, and I think to a fault of the movie. Like, it's not like it gets to a point where things don't even make any sense. It's like, well, if I can't shoot them with a gun, but tell me why, though. Like, that's something that you should establish instead of just being vague about it. As Marvin touched on, while this evil is spreading, they go to the established systems that one would go to in this world to deal with the rotten. They have a cleaner coming out to cleanse the rotten, but gets killed. They go to the police, who are clearly aware of these issues that arise from time to time, but they're like wrapped up in like bureaucracy or whatever. Excuse me, and they don't like give a fuck. And also, they don't do a great job of explaining it, but you get the sense that our main character is like not credible because he did some sort of crime in his past, and that's why his wife left him and all that stuff.
Estranged,
Unfortunately, I think there was too much of the story that got in its own way a little bit. I don't know. I just felt like by the end it left you with a lot of questions that like I shouldn't be asking by the end of the movie.
I mean, there could be some, but
again, ambiguity is
too many.
Ambiguity is perfectly fine, but the questions that I was asking were about like actual like things that I feel are important to the plot. And the movie dealt with them in just like weird little like excuses for things to happen. Like, well, we need this cleaner to die and for them to discover the body. So how did he die? It was the kid. Or like, but then like when they do it again, like why did the autistic kid eat his grandmother? What was the strategic purpose of that from the evil's perspective?
I agree with you that this leans more on the side of no answers. I would rather have more questions than hate the answers that I was given through exposition.
Yeah.
So that's why I think I lean towards liking this movie more, because I don't mind the questions and talking about it, because like it brings up interesting conversation.
It's just a shame because like they did build up such a nice lore to this world that we were in.
I didn't hate the movie, just to be clear. I enjoyed it. I thought the acting was really great from everybody. I thought the score was amazing. The movie was really good at adding to that unnerving feeling. I actually did think the violence in the movie didn't really serve the plot, and that kind of bothered me a little bit. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or what. We've talked about this before, and I know it's like a horror movie thing. Like,
you wanted more or you wanted less?
I don't think it served the plot in any way. I've never been like much of a gore freak in horror movies. There's people that like love that shit, which
I'm not a big fan.
I find it weird. If it
can be done right and good stuff can be done well, but it's overdone.
When it's campy and it's meant to be campy and it's over the top and like bright red blood, and you know it looks fake, so it doesn't really have this like visceral feeling to it. But like you said, Saw, they try to make that shit look realistic as fuck.
Yeah.
And in Saw, it serves the plot. Everything in this movie, I feel like you could have done it off screen and it would have had the same effect. And I feel like it was just for shock value. in this movie.
I don't think it was
I think it
overly
was.
done though.
I don't think it was that bad though.
I don't think it was
Yeah.
bad. I'm not saying
the
it was.
worst thing was like the pus and shit. Like,
Yeah,
that was the grossest thing. The kills weren't really
Yeah.
that gory. I don't
No,
think.
I'm not.
The fat infested
That
dude.
guy was gross. As
You could
fuck.
like literally
Yeah,
smell that
man.
guy through the
I
screen.
swear, dude, I
Oh
was
my
getting sick.
God.
Like,
Yeah.
just-
like leaking through the blanket.
But no, I'm not saying I was like offended, but like it wasn't offensive to me. It wasn't over the top. I just didn't think it served a purpose. It was just there to
right.
be there.
Yeah.
But yeah, this wasn't the movie that I was promised. Thanks, social media. I did not hate it. I liked the first half of it way more than the second half. While the premise is strong, the execution really wasn't. So
It started off very strong and
Yeah.
did not finish super strong, but
Yeah.
I enjoyed it enough that it didn't hurt. It didn't hurt it for me.
Yeah, overall, I
Yep.
thought I definitely enjoyed it. It's got a 7.0 on IMDb and a lot of really positive stuff. It's doing really good on Rotten Tomatoes as well. People are calling this the best horror movie of 2023, the scariest horror movie of 2023.
What else was there?
Is it? I don't think so. I would give this a 6. I gotta drop it down to a 6, which isn't bad. That's respectable for a horror movie.
I would probably give this a 7. Like I said, the lore was really strong.
Yeah.
I was really immersed in that first half of the movie. I would have liked to maybe see more history around like what happened or what caused all this and all that.
I'm with Marvin. I think that the rating reviews on IMDb are right. I think it's above just watchable. You're going to love it or you're going to be disappointed with it. But that first hour, you're going to be like, what the fuck is going on? This is amazing. Like,
It was clean.
whether or not you like it at the end is up to you. But I think it's good enough that it's above a just watchable.
I do still think the lore in this was really strong. And maybe that's because I'm a fan of like
No, I thought the lore was great.
Resident Evil 4. Like it gave
Yeah.
me like some
Yeah.
type of Resident Evil vibes even with
No.
some of the stuff. So I just felt like we always say that
Sometimes you just have to accept that
The
the
potential
evil
was
is evil
there.
and it's there.
Yeah, I thought it was cool that, like I said, that they changed the possession lore. It was just its own
Away
thing.
from the religious aspect.
Yes.
Yes.